next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers here on the Monday, September 5th episode, and it's officially week 1 of the NFL season. We've got NFL games in, as we're recording, 4 days, right around 4 days. I think by the time you're listening to this on Monday, it'll be a little under 4 days. So I guess it would be like 3 days. Yeah, that was a weird way to say that, but it's all to say that I'm excited. And we're going to have waiver wire targets, start sit calls, and more for you all week. But we're going to take one more crack at doing some preseason prognostication, and that's going to be Adam Azer giving us his bold predictions for the season. And like bold predictions, I don't want like Nyheim Hines catches 55 passes or something. All right, you gotta plant a flag, go out on a limb, give me something that's going to make me say, that's kind of silly. So, Adam, let's hear your first one.
I don't know if they're going to make you say that. Terry McLaurin will not be a top 30 wide receiver.
Ooh.
He has never been higher than 20th. I'm not even sure if he's been 20th. He's never been a top 20 wide receiver on a per-game basis. Touchdowns have been a problem for him. Carson Wentz, just ask the Colts. He's not a huge upgrade, I think, at this point in his career. They couldn't wait to get rid of Carson Wentz. And I like Jahan Dotson. I think he's a really good late-round pick. He's got a chance to be the best rookie wide receiver. And I think Curtis Samuel, for as long as he stays healthy, may not be fantasy relevant, but he could be a thorn in the side of Terry McLaurin. And I think Logan Thomas could be, when he's healthy, a thorn in the side of Terry McLaurin, especially in the red zone. I do really like the schedule. That was the one thing that gave me a little bit of pause here. I'm not going to love him when he faces the Eagles. Maybe not the Cowboys if Trayvon Diggs can take a step up. Maybe not the Colts against Stephon Gilmore, but there aren't that many tough cornerbacks on his schedule, so I like that for Terry McLaurin, but I don't have a single share of Terry McLaurin. I do not see him as yes, I think he will be a top 30 receiver, but my bold prediction is that he will not be.
I just did my week 1 rankings, and he's 30th for week 1. So, he's kind of a default top 24 wide receiver for me, but like you, I haven't drafted him at all this season. He's just not someone I can get particularly interested in. So I agree with that one. I don't think that's that bold. I think other people might disagree, but let's get bolder with number 2.
Okay, well, I might have to change the number here.
Or slightly less bold.
Trey Lance will be a top 3 quarterback. Is that bolder?
I like it.
Yeah, look, there's really there's nothing here that you don't already understand, right? He's just going to potentially lead all quarterbacks in rushing. In 2.5 games that he actually played quarterback last year, he was on pace for 1,100 rushing yards. I trust Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he's going to play quarterback all that well, but I don't think it's going to matter. And I think the ceiling is QB1, but I'll just say top 3. I'd be shocked if he's QB1. I think the ceiling is probably QB3. I'll say he hits that ceiling, Trey Lance.
I am worried about San Francisco's offense from a fantasy perspective. I'm, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell. Even I think they're all good players, and I think they've all been in situations that were really good. I'm not sure that this situation is all that good because of Trey Lance's scrambling ability in particular. I think that's really going to be the key, and whether he takes that, Lamar Jackson in 2019 leap. If you look at the rates at which he scrambled last season, the rates at which he had designed runs, it was very similar to Lamar Jackson, even more so than Jalen Hurts, who I think is the other kind of number 2 rushing quarterback. I think Trey Lance is one of the guys who really does have that 1,000-yard upside as a rusher. So I like that one. Let's get your last bold prediction.
I think this is fairly bold. Justin Herbert, he threw for 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns last year. 5,300 yards for Herbert, 50 touchdowns, wins the MVP, and is the most valuable player in fantasy. I think all of the pieces are there for that kind of a season for Herbert. He's got a good to great offensive line. He's got a good to great receiving core. He's got a receiving back out of the backfield who will give him some cheap yards. He's on a pass-heavy team. He's probably going to be playing in some shootouts within the division, and he is so good at football. This could be the year where it all comes together. This could just be the best year of his career. It's going to happen at some point. I'm going to say that it's going to be this year. Justin Herbert, your fantasy MVP, your NFL MVP, 5,300 yards, 50 touchdowns.
I like that one, and I think that one is pretty bold. And I'm going to go ahead and say if that happens, both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are top 12 wide receivers, which I don't think is that bold. They were not far off last season, but I think the bold part might be if Justin Herbert does have a season like that, I think Mike Williams is going to outscore Keenan Allen because I think it's going to be a situation where Mike Williams scores a ton of touchdowns, has 1,400 yards. I think that is within the realm of possibility if Justin Herbert does make that big kind of leap. So I'm excited about that. He's, my QB4. I'm 2 spots lower than him than consensus on him, but that's only because I really like Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's awesome in his own right. So no problems with that. We're going to have some more bold predictions. We're going to do bold predictions for week 1 in particular in tomorrow's FFT and 5. And I'll give you a little sneak preview. I don't know if this one is bold, but I've got Antonio Gibson ranked ahead of Dameon Pierce. I know Dameon Pierce has all the buzz, and we sort of buried Antonio Gibson before Brian Robinson's situation, but I think Antonio Gibson's in line to be a top 15-ish running back for the first few weeks of the season, and it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in Washington when Robinson is healthy enough to play, because I think Gibson could get off to a good start. So we'll talk about more on Fantasy Football Today and 5 tomorrow. See ya.